Hello, Internet. This is Ben. I don't know. I'm singing. With a mysterious space update. I'm a little. I'm feeling a little crazy right now. I just released. I just launched, I should say, a Kickstarter project to. You know what? But let's not. Let's play the game because I don't want to just ramble. Because I don't want this to be an ad for the Kickstarter. It's for mysterious space, by the way. So that seems related. Um, but let's go ahead and play a little bit. So I can show off some of the little changes. I like the faster weapon recharge rate. Um, yes, so I'll just talk about it for a little while, and then we can do some other things. I'm gonna hack myself some various items so that we can try them out. Oh, so I need like some armors. All right, let's see what we got here. So I've done a Kickstarter for Mysterious Space. Um, and I haven't been working on like Mysterious Space proper for the last couple weeks, in part because I've been it takes more time than I would think just to like set that up. Um, but also because we'll just do that one. I've also like switched jobs, which is really cool. That my previous job was getting quite frustrating, and actually, uh, I don't know how much of that I should say, but I can say at least this: two developers left, which is out of five people, a lot. And then I heard rumors that someone else, like, it doesn't matter. So things were not good, and many people knew this to be so, and so they quit my previous job, and I got a new job, which is really cool. But I also wanted to take the opportunity um, because I wanted to do this for a long time. I would love to work on Mysterious Space full time if possible. And I know that's asking a lot. And I know that if that works, that is like a bizarre and wild opportunity that many people don't have. And so I almost feel, I don't know, I almost feel kind of crazy asking for people to like support that. But there it is. I was really hoping to get a different accessory, but that's okay. We'll just go with it, and we'll get more later. Let me throw out a bunch of this stuff because I do not have the space. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so it takes a longer time than I would think. Like there was, and Steam wasn't like updating things properly. Okay. I did a little thing. I feel a little bad about this because it's a little sneaky. The price for Mysterious Space. What else is new? Okay, that's technically a bug. I will write that down later. Um, so the price on Mysterious Space. Oh gosh, sorry, I don't want to watch that. Let's turn off debug mode. The price on Mysterious Space on Steam has gone up to $10. This is new. The little things smoke to make them a little easier to spot in case they're hiding behind rocks or something. Um, whoa, right, because it's higher level. Oh, that's wonderful. It looks a little silly without anything else. But anyway, the price has gone up to $10, and I did that for a kind of a sneaky reason. The price on, if you back on Kickstarter, is the old $5. You see what I did there? See what I did there? Um, Now, all the money made through Steam, now and always forever, will be donated to nonprofits and charities because that is what I want to do, and that is what I always want to do, and I never want to change that. The money made through the Kickstarter, 100% goes to me. It's going to enable me, if it succeeds, to quit my day job and work on Mysterious Space full time for a year. Which would be amazing. And if, like, by some bizarre miracle, fluke, chance, whatever, it like I get double the amount, it have to be a little more, but not by much. Then I will work on it for 2 years because why not? And if it doesn't quite make that much, I'll definitely try again next year and see how that goes. But just because it would be really cool, unless for some reason I'm like just tired of it, but that seems difficult to believe. And I want, and I I really tried to think about cool rewards. I always love when I see games that are like, oh, you can get, like some content that you design basically to go in the game. Let's not go back in there. I saw some fuel over here. Easier. So I tried to offer rewards like design a ship, and we can hang out on Skype and do that. And I also, if I can do this full time, would absolutely love to. I love this gun; it's so fast. Would love to code live on Twitch or something, and then you could talk to me and point out when I'm doing something stupid, or give me suggestions. Be like, oh my god, it should look like this or that, or wouldn't it be cool if X or Y, or I think that Z is real bad. Why haven't you fixed that yet? You know, whatever. All those things could be talked about. I have also, let me pull this up right now, if I can find it. Here we go. So this is already out. Um, it is a Google Doc, and anyone can look at it. There's a link on mysteriouspace.com to it, and I should put a link somewhere else. But yeah, I'd like to, just make things more. I don't know what the right word is, but I'd like you guys to be able to see what I'm doing and see where the game is going and everything else. Again, regardless of whether or not the Kickstarter goes, I was like, yeah, I should do more stuff like this. I wouldn't have time to, you know, code live on a regular basis with my full time job, but I can maintain a spreadsheet, like that's no problem. My previous system was to have lots of little bits of like paper with notes scribbled on them scattered on my desk. So this is an improvement regardless, right? And I also want to credit whoever points these things out, especially bugs, for putting in the change logs. And I've tried to do that in the change logs before. Usually I go by the name in the let's see if I can. I'm scared that I'll pop up. Okay, so for example, let me find. Oh, did I already delete it? I deleted it. Well, anyway, when you send a crash report, the screenshot will usually include your ship name, and so I often credit by the name that appeared there. And so let me show you an example. So for example, Pilot Bob. So I've done this before on previous change logs. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find any. Like, thanks. Oh, is it searching? Thanks to or something. Huge thanks critical for new Spanish translation. Thanks for finding these bugs. Thanks to Kidley Solaris for reporting this. So yeah, so I try to do that, and so I worry that I've failed to do so on some occasions because I don't always write it down. So I'm writing them down here as well. And I guess we could go over the change log. But anyway, let's get back to playing the game. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying anymore. Anyway, just trying to let you guys in more on the process because that has always made working on games more fun for me in the past. I mentioned this a little on the Kickstarter video, and I know I've talked about it in previous videos here on the YouTubes. But I used to run a game called SciPets online. The Size for Psychology, not psychotic or psychic or something. Anyway, it was like this, social pet care, whatever, like totally different game, obviously, but it was an ongoing project that I worked on for years and years and years because it was a lot of fun to just like make crazy new stuff and see how people played with it, and then to get feedback on crazy stuff that other people would like to see. There was a board for suggestions and all that kind of thing, and there hasn't been as much of that interaction in Mysterious Space, and I think besides being more fun for me, on Mysterious Space, I saw it was more fun for those players. I don't know why it would be different here. I assume it would be fun for everyone playing Mysterious Space as well if they could give feedback. The reason why maybe I think it won't work as well for Mysterious Space is that it's not a game that you necessarily play for years. Like, there were people who played Mysterious Space from when they were in middle school up through college, which is completely bonkers to think about. Like, I talked to these people that whole time. Because it was a sort of game that you could just play endlessly like that. Mysterious Space isn't that. The only reason that I'm play it as much as I do is because I'm working on it, right? And I mean, it's, if it was completely dumb and boring, well, first of all, I hope I would fix that, but I wouldn't play it if it was completely dumb and boring. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know how much ordinary, people who aren't programming the game, how much they are playing it. That's hard for me to know. I probably should be checking my equipment, but whatever. I've cheated to get crazy gear, so I'm sure I'll be fine. Let's see what we got here. Purple alien artifact, sure. Grants a ship upgrade, sounds great. Deals the damage directly to your hull. So that's changed. When I redid the damage system, I made it so that damage to your hull always regenerated when you left a level and entered a level. I don't remember exactly why. I think it was partly due to the accessory that blows up everything on the screen but hurts your hull. Anyway, the game has been too easy recently, so I have undone that. Hull damage no longer is repaired automatically, but also I felt like some things did need to be a little kinder. So the advanced technology you saw there that deals 1 damage to your hull, it used to deal enough to reduce you to 1. It doesn't do that anymore. It only deals 1. On the other hand, it can now kill you, which is different. So, anyway. Let's take a second weapon, because I think I still have some of those weapons, right? Yeah. The fire rate is doubled while sensors are scrambled. That will almost never happen, but that's funny. Sure. Let's shoot up and down as well. Ooh, that's fast. It's tiny. Oh gosh, it's so tiny. I don't want that. That's too tiny. It's unreasonably tiny. Alright, and we'll worry about these later. Alright. So anyway, yeah, live coding. I'm glad I thought of doing that. I don't know. And other people do that, right? They do that all the like you can watch other developers do that kind of thing, and I don't know. I've adopted funny new social media, if Twitch counts as social media, poorly, right? I don't know. It's just because I don't know. God, is it because I'm getting old? I guess so. It's weird to think about. I'm only 33. Um, so yeah, you know, those sorts of things don't come immediately to mind. But then I was like, oh my god, I should absolutely do that. Did you? I recently made a Reddit account, which is probably something I should have had forever ago. Mostly to post on rogue-related messages about mysterious space in preparation, basically, for announcing this. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that's 100% why I did it. But my first real post has actually been on the League of Legends boards. I had a question about the new champion that came out recently, but anyway. Yeah, I'm very curious. So, would you mind me rambling? Let's ramble about League of Legends. They released a new champion, and they have these little, new characters that you can play. I don't know, but this discussion I think will work even if you've never played the game. So they released this new character you can play, and they have these kind of bar like the I don't want to call it a bar chart, but I guess technically it's a chart. But they kind of rate like how difficult the player is, and then also how much damage that you can expect that character to do that's physical damage, how much would be like magical damage. That kind of informs you on what items to build, and then how defensive that player is, which I would usually take to mean like how much health, how many hit points do they have? Do they have shielding abilities or healing abilities or other things like that? So this character was given like this huge defensive rating, like way, above average. But nothing she has seems defensive. She has really low health and health regen for other champions. Anyway, so I posted and was like, "What's up with that?" And what's interesting to me is everyone says don't pay attention to what the game developers rate those characters as. It's nonsense. Like for all we know, they spin a wheel and pick. And that's interesting to me. I would really love to hear from those developers their thought process behind how they're rating the characters. Like I assume it's not intended for skilled players of the game. It's probably meant more for people who don't know what they're doing and they're just picking up the champion and they're kind of trying to figure out what it does. Although if that's the case, they don't make the information very easy to get to. But I don't know. So, anyways, it's just interesting. I would think that if I was going to do something similar to that for Mysterious Space, I would, I don't know, try to make it information that people consider useful. I don't know. I'm really curious to know where they're coming from in those, since players seem to routinely say that it's not good. Because there must be something, right? Like, defensive power must mean something to them, and I wonder what they think it means to players, and what they think players are supposed to do with that information. Or maybe, and if it's 100% for noobs, maybe they're just like, this character's wonky, just buy health. We're saying defensive to say that you should buy health items, and then, that will make you do okay when you're new to the character or something until you know better. Maybe that's what it's for. I just don't know. So again, I would be curious to know. Those are always those sort of like inside things. Like I wish I knew what the developer was thinking, and that's why I like to do talk about why I do some of the stuff in Mysterious Space, and why I would like to let you guys ask questions more directly, through live streamed coding, because I don't know, those sorts of questions always drive me crazy. Like, what were they thinking? What was the developer thinking for a game that I care about? And so I'd love to give players of this game the opportunity to do that. Let me try and hack myself, because I really want to show you guys something else. So that's the, oops. Give 10 accessory. Let's see if we can find it. It's a new accessory. No, I'm just not finding it. Give 10 accessory. I should just like make a way to give me specific ones. I mean, if I really wanted to test a specific one, I just go in the code and say any new ship gets given this item, you know. So I don't often. Sorry, if this doesn't work this time, maybe I will do that, and then you can see how I do that in the code. Wouldn't that be exciting? Maybe. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh, there it is. Okay, deck of many things. Press control to do something. Can be used once every 44 seconds. Great. Let's do something. Oh, it's a guy. Let's do something. Shield disabled. Well, that was something bad. I promise they tend to be something good. Although with that time limit, I wonder if I should do something where, like, if it's something bad, it comes back sooner, and if it's something good, look, I can do that. Let's code together. So here is the code, and I'll try to center this properly. So I'm looking for. Let me scoot this over. And if I did this live, I would absolutely not have this teeny tiny window. But I'm not prepared for it, and there's like a ton of stuff open on my desktop, and I don't know if people's full names on like my Skype contact. We don't need all those things shown to you guys. So definitely get a better setup for if I. Again, if it's, I need to not pretend like this is a sure thing, right? Like this Kickstarter might not go anywhere. Maybe people don't care about Mysterious Space. Maybe I will fail to tell everyone in the whole world. Although I'm going to tell absolutely as many people as possible. But anyway, let's. And actually, looking at my email, I can see that 2 people have pledged small amounts, $50. I didn't know I was going to get emails for this. This is going to be amazing, whether it fails or not. So let's see. Okay, model, items, ship parts, accessories, deck of many things. So what we can do is that if it does something bad, do something. So this should be a private method. We don't want anyone else calling this. Oh no. Goodness. Okay, so if it does something good, then we're gonna return true. Let's do this. Was something good. So this would be was something good is true. And was something good is false. Okay, and you can see here, so if a random number from 0 to 9 is greater than or equal to 4, let's ignore this part for now, then we do something good. So, right, 0, 1, 2, 3, that's 4 options, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's 6 options. So there's a 60% chance you get something good and a 40% you get something bad. Okay, the blessings, so for each if the item has been blessed once, and I call it blessing internally to kind of mirror traditional roguelikes where items can be blessed or cursed. The vocabulary used by the game is stasis or entropy, right? Which is kind of borrowed from Mage, which is this tabletop role-playing game system. Don't even worry about it. And really saying that stasis is good is very opinionated and biased, but within the system of Mage. But anyway, so as you get more blessings, the chances of getting something good increase. And it's very hard to stack multiple blessings on one item. Usually you only get 1 or 2. But here you go. I mean, you could make it so there's a 100% chance of something good. And similarly, if the item is cursed, then this number, that's a negative blessing. So minus minus, that's a plus. So then that 4 becomes a 5 or a 6, and that means that it's more likely that something bad will happen. But anyway, then we can return whether or not it was something good. And then here we can do else we do nothing. We want the cooldown timer to do something. Say bool was something good. I guess by default we'll say it was something good. Something good. So here's the weird thing. So if it's equipped to a player ship, we're going to do something good to the player ship. If it's equipped to an orbital, an orbital co-op player, we're going to do something good to the orbital's ship that they're orbiting. So because orbitals, very few things can actually affect an orbital. And I've made this change to a couple other accessories as well, like I'm trying to remember. Oh, the teleports the ship. Teleporting the ship didn't used to work if you equipped it to an orbital, because the orbital would teleport itself, but orbitals can't go anywhere. So I said, okay, if you're an orbital, do it to your host ship or whatever. So it has similar logic. Technically, this could be equipped to an enemy, in which case it doesn't do anything, which is kind of silly. But anyway, So what we're going to say is if it was something good, then we'll do the full cooldown timer. Else, or you know what we should say, always do that, and then if it wasn't something good, then the cooldown timer can be, let's just have it. Let's say that if something bad happens, then half the time. Um, to do something can be used once every something. If it makes something bad happen, let's see, press to do something can be used once every, if it makes something bad happen, um, I don't know how to word that. I would say like the cooldown time because that's what's called internally, but I don't use the word cooldown in the description that the humans see, basically. Um, I guess we'll just say it this way. So math round cooldown divide by 2 divide by 60 float. Yeah. 1 second if it makes something bad happen. Okay. Yeah. Good effects are more likely. Let's say that. Okay. And eventually this is all going to need to be... this is something I keep doing. These are fixed strings, and they should not be. For translation purposes, these need to be strings coming out translation files, but never mind. Okay, let's resume the game. I'm sorry, it wasn't that exciting. So now we can check out what this looks like. Let me try and center that. That looks pretty centered. Actually, it looks wonderfully centered. So yeah, we still have the full 28 seconds, but let's check the description. Can be used once every 44 seconds, 22 seconds if it makes something bad happen. Good effects are more likely. Okay, good enough. So when this thing, and let's just run around. We can just run around and do this level. And this is exactly the sort of time where, you know, if this was happening live, then people could give feedback and be like, ask them questions about, well, you know, you might have asked, can I see all the effects that that thing makes? And I don't know, actually, would I say no? Nah, I'd say yes. If you're going to watch me code, you deserve it. But it's just some things I would like to keep kind of secret, you know? Like, no, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Oh, we can use it again. Something bad, controls inverted. I promise that good things are more likely. We just looked at the code. They want a shield. Ugh, I don't have it. Here, you can have all these that I don't want. Maybe I'll find a shield to give them. Right, and it was something bad. Oh, I wasn't watching the timer, but I kind of suspect that wasn't the full 44 seconds. Ooh, an unidentified shield! Control, something bad, hit for 4 damage. Ugh, why do we keep getting bad things? And yeah, okay. It's less time. Have a shield. You're most welcome. You're most welcome. You're most welcome. All right. There's a particular effect that I really hope we can see that this thing does, but we'll see. In the meanwhile, I should probably talk about donations, because I mentioned, you know, I'm going to continue to donate profits from sales on Steam, which again, the game now costs $10. Well, I'll be really curious to see if that halves sales or anything. I don't know. I mean, this is a terrible test because now something weird and crazy has happened, right? There's a Kickstarter, which is going to bring attention to the game, and so sales will probably be larger than they otherwise would be. Hit for 4. Oh my goodness. I just cannot not have 4 damage dealt to me. What am I doing? I can't pick that up. Well, at least the cooldown is low, so we can keep trying? I don't know. There's so many effects, and there aren't so many, but I will absolutely add more. So Deck of Many Things, if you are not aware, is absolutely a Dungeons & Dragons item originally. And one of my favorites, and I implemented it one in Cypets as well. Gained a 2-point bonus shield. All right, see, that's better. And it is notorious for having both wonderful things that can happen to you and terrible things which can happen to you. Let's just leave the planet. That'll be faster because that resets. I got distracted from talking about donations, but that's okay. Something bad, inverted controls, great. Yeah, it was a hilariously fun item. It was a friend of mine who suggested it to me. He didn't care about the game, and he was like, it should absolutely be able to like kill the pets and do horrible things, like truly horrible things, like what can happen in traditional Dungeons and Dragons if you dare to draw a card from the deck of many things. The game is a friendly game, so I didn't make. There we go. I minimified. That's the one I wanted to show off. Check out how tiny I am. It's only really good for getting in small spaces. Uh, and you can see the bullets are a little offset. Well, there we go. I absolutely need some sort of like screen effect associated with becoming super tiny. I love that. I don't know. It's just so tiny. It's cute. Um, and that's not the only place that you can get the minified effect. And I need to test this at some point, but I believe it will work if you are transformed while minified. Like if you polymorph from an advanced, and again polymorph being like the Dungeons and Dragons roguelike term. But if your ship is transformed into a different ship through use of an advanced technology, um, hopefully that doesn't break the minifying because there's some weirdness going on there to make this all work. Um, which again, if this was live coding and someone was like, "Oh my God, can I see that?" then I would say yes, we can see that. But I worry that this YouTube video is already going long enough. Anyway, so that is some of the weird new stuff that I have added and changed. And let's, it's good. I got to show what I kind of really wanted to. Let's see if there was anything more exciting in the changelog. I really don't super think so. Some cutscene fixes, okay, little bug fixes. Um, and the reason I was inspired to make the super teeny tiny ship is I was noticing that the light Lukita, despite being a little smaller than the width of a terrain block, it was really hard to wiggle them in between. Like if you had, a one block space hole, it was really hard to maneuver your ship inside. So I made it a couple pixels shorter. It's still a little harder than I would like, but that was one of the advantages that I considered of the light Lukita that isn't really represented as a stat, but it has smaller dimensions, which means it's going to get hit less, and you can potentially fit into small spaces. Rarely does that come up, but it can come up, and I think that's interesting. So I made the tiny, the minification effect is kind of I don't know. If I make more effects that if there are more ways you can be tiny through choosing a ship or through funny effects, then I should make things in the game that reward you for being tiny. Like, I don't know, what if there were force fields that went from left to right, but they had every other tile was force fielded, so if you were small you could fit between the force field, but if you were big you would still hit it. We could do things like that too. So it's like, okay, you're a small ship, here's a little reward. And then maybe that means that you value the things that can make you small or something. Honestly, it's hard. Whoa, sorry, I think I like upped my personal volume greatly when I said honestly there. Honestly, I think it's gonna be hard to make being small rewarding enough that you would want it without making it like a pain that when you're not. You know what I mean? Like there's always an advantage to like EMP weapons even are yeah, they're really good, but do you really want to give up a normal weapon? Actually, I think that EMP weapons are a fantastic idea, but I can see people debating that, and it's hard to imagine that when the cost is holding on to inventory space. If you've got an advanced technology that makes you minified, which I haven't implemented yet, but I'm absolutely going to make that a possibility. Um, are you really going to hold on to that when there's other stuff you want to hold on to? Because when are you going to need it? But it's a funny little bonus, and we'll see what other things come out of it. I am happy to add weird mechanics, not knowing what they might be good for, because yeah, I mean that's how you make it possible for wonderful emergent gameplay to happen that roguelikes are so known for, in which Mysterious Space I feel is still lacking. Um, and some things I told you, and some things I think I've demoed before, like the new tree graphics. So Rover's Smoke, fantastic. So the only other thing I guess I wanted to talk about was donations, and those are on some other window. Let me see if I can open that up. Do I know where it is? It's not there. Um, it's because I'm just so well organized. I don't even know what to say. Donations. It's been a little while, and I need to check again. Let me pull this out into a new. Let's pull that over here. So, boop. Said I, Habitat for Humanity, A Child's Place, and I don't think I talked about this before, but so the a lady from SETI Institute got back to me, which was awesome, and was like, "Hey, I see that you donated. I watched your video, and it sounded like actually." So I emailed her back. She's like, "If you ever want to talk, absolutely, I'd be willing to." So I emailed her back, and she hasn't emailed me, but that's okay. I mean, I was surprised that I heard back from anyone, um, and I'm sure she's busy all the time. So, um, but something that I wrote in my response that I'm not sure I've ever really expressed before to everyone else is one of the reasons that I do it this way, where I'm donating $500 to all kinds of different things, is I really like that it forces me to find causes that either I just don't know about and like never even thought about, or things that like I did know were issues, but they're not issues that I encounter every day, and so they don't come immediately to mind. And so things like homelessness or children's education or racism or women's health. I'm like a white dude doesn't have a kid, so like I just kind of automatically have, don't encounter these problems that a lot of other people do, and so I'm glad that this method forces me to find those things and be like, right, that is an issue. That is something that I would absolutely love to help out with. So, God, and I would love to hear suggestions too from other people on things to donate. I found a wonderful page. I was showing this to a friend, and she showed me this wonderful site, Charity Navigator, um, and I haven't used it as much only because I found it late in donating. A Child's Place I found there, and SETI Institute, I've known about them before, but I was kind of intentionally donating to large agencies. Again, because I wanted to hit things that I haven't heard about, that, maybe need the money more. Like NASA just makes bajillions of dollars. It's absurd. Um, and they say they're not making enough money, and I'm sure that it hurts when their budget hits, but like they make so much money, like more than any other space agency in the world. So that's why I opted for smaller things like JAXA, which I had never heard of until I started looking. Um, and so the SETI Institute was kind of in that same space for me as NASA's. They're kind of big, but I mean, I like SETI. I always have. The search. Do it. Please find extraterrestrial life. It would be amazing. So I donated to them when I spotted them on Charity Navigator. So this is a really cool site, by the way. Um, I'd never heard of it. I'd never heard of it. So it was fantastic. Um, and if you're interested in donating, then this seems to be quite a useful site. So anyway, that's kind of some of the motivations behind that. Honestly, I haven't checked the profits from Mysterious Space recently. I would guess by now that I'm probably ready for another round. We'll see. Um, so I will certainly let you know. So anyway, I think I have talked quite long enough. I'm not sure how long the video has been going. Some number of seconds. That many seconds. Who knows how many minutes? I can't do that math. So thank you very much for watching and for playing Mysterious Space. And if you back the Kickstarter, oh my god, thank you so much. Again, it's really exciting. I've never done something like this before. I have worked. I've been self-employed before when I was working on SciPets. I ran the game for 7 years. I was not self-employed like those whole 7 years. It was like 2 or 3, but the last year that hardly counts. Like I was just losing money slowly, and I don't know, was slow to get a new job. I didn't make the best decisions at the time. So this is great for me though, right? Because it assures that I have the money for a year. So I won't be putting myself at like risk, not having health insurance and things like that. I'll be able to afford those things and know that everything is going to be okay, and work on the game full time. And that is another thing. I've done this before. I know I can do it. I've worked from home. That was my previous job, which was really cool. There's no question in my mind that I'm capable of, I don't know, responsibly coding 8 hours a day for anything. And Mysterious Space, oh my god, it would be so much cooler if it was Mysterious Space than almost anything. I can't think of anything else. I don't care how much money someone could tell me. I don't care if my current job was like, we will pay you twice, 3 times, 4 times. It doesn't matter. Like, it would not be making a game that people use and have fun and play, and it would be so awesome. Yeah, the money. If the money was the issue, I wouldn't be donating. like, so yeah. So anyway, thank you again. Yeah, and thank you for considering again. I feel it's a little selfish, because again, it's a crazy opportunity that I recognize that not everyone can do, and so if it happens, God, thank you again. So, um, but anyway, sorry, rambling again as always. Goodbye.